Hi, hello, my name is Emily, but most people call me Em. I have decided that I'm going to start trying to film YouTube videos. It's something I've wanted to do for a really long time, and I feel like I start a video and then I just never edit it. So what I'm going to do is just not edit this at all. I think that's the only way that this is going to work. So I'm just going to speak to the camera and upload it to the internet and leave it at that and see what happens. And maybe one person will watch it, maybe 4 people will watch it, maybe more than that will watch it, or maybe absolutely no one, and that's fine. I think it's just going to be a bit of everything. So today's video is more of a book haul because I have been in such a reading slump. I feel like over Christmas and over the Christmas holidays I did so well with reading because I was off work and I had so much time, and I was doing my reading journal ready for 2026, and I was really like setting all these goals, reading goals, numbers of books I wanted to read, and also really work through my physical TBR as well as all the books on my Kindle. And then it kind of hit, I think I read one book at the beginning of January and then it just went downhill, rapidly downhill. I knew I was in a bit of a reading slump, so I tried starting a thriller on my Kindle, which normally, if it's like gripping, it will completely take me out of a reading slump. Did not work. I don't know if it was just not gripping enough, but I think I just tried to persevere and I got 57% of the way through on my Kindle, and if I get to that stage I'm like, oh, I might as well finish it now. And I just didn't. I was not into the characters. I did not feel sorry for them. I felt like they were stupid. I can't even remember what the book was called. So it just, there was nothing on my physical TBR that I was like, I really want to read this right now. There were a couple of books, to be fair, looking back now, that I'm like, these are authors I love. I will probably enjoy their books, but one of them I know for sure was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I had heard, I've not read any spoilers, I've avoided that like the plague, so that's been fine, but I did hear that it was quite like a intense book, or you needed to concentrate because obviously it's about space and going up into space. So, and that's not something I know loads about, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to really focus my brain to read it, and I just wasn't sure that was kind of the right book to go into. So I bought some. The physical TBR goal just went out the window and I was like, screw it, I'll just buy some. So that's what I'm going to show you today. Whilst drinking my tea. It is Valentine's Day today, so I've got my pink mug, got my roses in the background. And on that note, the book that I read was, that I've actually finished out of this stack, there's one that I've already finished, and I do feel like I'm coming out the other end of the reading slump now. And that was The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. I had read, I think 2 books actually by her before. I'm pretty sure The Bodyguard is by her. I read that on my Kindle a year or 2 ago and I did enjoy that. And I also read last year Hello Stranger, which I did really enjoy. I can't remember what I rated it, but it was definitely like a 4.25, 4.5, something like that. I did enjoy it. This one, not so much, but I think that was also because I was in the reading slump. So it's a bit battered now, the corners, from me taking it to work and back and things, but I did listen to the most of this via audiobook on Spotify, which I think helped, because that's my other trick, either a really gripping thriller or an audiobook. So that's what I did, and I read some of it in bed as well, and there are a few bits I'm like, oh, this is a bit cheesy, but I'm like, no, just carry on. And then there were other bits when I was listening to the audio that actually made me like laugh out loud. So I think in the end I rated this 3.75. But yeah, it was good. It got me kind of fully out of my reading slump. So the next book is not actually one of the new books, but this is what I'm currently reading, and this was also on my physical TBR already, so it made me feel a bit better. So Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. I decided to pick this one up next because I've read 2 other books by Carly Fortune, I think. How many are there? I'm not sure. 2 or 3, and I loved them. One of them for sure was a 5-star. See, do you know what? I'm gonna go grab it. Let me go grab it. Oh no. Oh no, I spilled my tea. The rug moved. No. No. Okay. BRB. Okay. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that, little interval there. The tea is all wiped up, we're okay. And I have been into the office and I've picked up my reading journal and the 2 other physical Carly Fortune books I have. And then, so this is One Golden Summer, which I loved, and Every Summer After. And I did read them both last year, so 2025. Yeah, and then I also read one on my Kindle, This Summer Will Be Different. So I have read 3, and this is the 4th. And I think that's all of the books she currently has out. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's one coming out this year, which I'll definitely get. And yeah, so I'm already on page 42, beginning chapter 5, and I'm enjoying it. I remembered why I love her book so much. They're based in Canada. We went to Canada a couple of years ago, and so I can really like picture it. I can imagine being by the lake, and yeah, so I'm enjoying this so far. If I just read the back, so Fern Brooke Banks has wasted far too much of her adult life thinking about Will Baxter. She spent 24 hours in her early 20s with the aggravatingly attractive, idealistic artist, a chance encounter that spiraled into a day-long city adventure. The timing was wrong, but their connection was undeniable. They shared every secret, every dream, and made a pact to meet 1 year later. Fern showed up, Will didn't. At 32, Fern's life hasn't turned out how she imagined it. She's back home running her mother's lakeside resort, which is in disarray, and her ex-boyfriend is the manager. She needs the lifeline. To Fern's surprise, it comes in the form of Will, who arrives 9 years too late with an offer to help. Will may be the only person who understands what Fern's going through, yet how can she possibly trust this expensive suit-wearing mirage who seems nothing like the young man she met all those years ago? But 10 years ago, Will Baxter rescued Fern. Can she do the same for him? So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. But yeah, that's the current read. And then into the actual haul. So some of these I got from Vinted. A couple I did get from Amazon because I had a Amazon voucher, like a gift card that I'd been given as a gift to spend on books. And then I've also got one from Amazon but it's one of the ones where it's like still secondhand. Kind of one of those sellers. And then I've actually also been to an independent bookshop. So I'll go through maybe the Vinted ones first, just because that's at the top of the pile. So I picked up, when I was in the reading slump and I realised the thrillers were not working, I'm pretty sure most of these are romances. So the 2 I picked up on Vinted as a bundle were both by Paige Toon. I read 1 book by her last year on my Kindle. I can probably find it because it was late last year, or maybe in the summer. 7 Summers by Paige Toon. Yeah, so I rated that a 4.5, and it was set in Cornwall, which I really liked because I love Cornwall. So I decided to get both of these. I don't really know what either of them are about. To be honest, I will probably go for this one first just because I like the cover. I think the cover's pretty. So yeah, I'm gonna pick one of those up at some point, probably not the next read. This is the problem. So I've bought them now and they'll sit on my physical TBR, but I need to start going through them. So I'm definitely more leaning towards a physical book at the moment over my Kindle. So I'm just going to go with that. And that's fine. And this, it does say, oh no, not this one. 3 days to fall in love, 6 years to try to forget. And an earth-shattering secret, a life-changing love story. So yeah. Then from Amazon, I picked up, I didn't quite realise this was a late night purchase when I was in bed hating the thriller. Can you tell? So I didn't quite realise that I picked up 3 books, all by the same author, Sarah Adams. And I've never read a Sarah Adams book in my life. So instead of buying one to try and see if I liked her writing, I, for some reason, bought 3. But we've got In Your Dreams, Beg, Borrow or Steal, and Practice Makes Perfect. So I'm gonna have to Google to see if there's some kind of order, whether they're related at all, I don't know. Oh, but New York Times bestselling author of The Cheat Sheet and Practice Makes Perfect. So that's obviously one of the bestsellers, so maybe I'll try that one first. How hard can it be to find the perfect match? Florist wonders if the problem might be her. Sexy tattooed Will Griffin, another Will, is temporarily back in Rome, Kentucky, providing security for pop star Amelia Rose. Okay. I think it's going to be cheesy, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll give one of them a go. Then I'll do this one next. So this is, I actually can't even remember what this is. No idea. Absolutely no idea. So I don't know if it's a new author or someone I've read before. I also don't want to show my address, so I'm going to try and open it this way. There we go. Very well packaged. Oh, okay. Red, white, royal blue. There's something in it. Why is there... What's in it? Oh, it's just like the invoice. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, so you can definitely tell it's been read. But that's fine. I don't mind that. I don't mind a second-hand book at all. Yeah, so I remember hearing a lot about this, and it probably is more a book maybe that will appeal to an American audience, because I feel like it's US, British relations, royal, that kind of situation. But I feel like I've heard really good things about this. So it was one of those that I think it had been on like my Amazon wish list for years. So I just decided to pick it up when I was in the romance mood. So yeah, we'll give this a go. I feel like everybody has probably already read this. I'm pretty sure there's even like a picture, what's it called? Not film. I feel like it was a film or a TV show about this. I'll have to Google that. And maybe that can be like my treat after reading it, because I do always prefer to read the book first. Like at the moment, Bridgerton is on, and so this is season 4, part 1 is out so far. So I have the Bridgerton books, but I have read each of them after their series is out. So I've read book 1 and book 2. I haven't read book 3 because that is actually Benedict's story, which is season 4. But I'm saving it for when it's over, because I just feel like the book gives you... I don't want to ruin the story. I was tempted to read it. Because I do love Bridgerton and I wanted to get into the Bridgerton mood, but I didn't want to like ruin the ending for myself, because I've avoided all spoilers, and I know everybody has been talking about not Francesca and Kilmartin, is that their names? That's right, Francesca's story, and like obviously there's some spoilers you can't miss, so I know there's part of that, but I see I'm rambling now. This is the problem with not editing, but this is the test. This is to get me better at talking to the camera and not going off a complete tangent. I got distracted by Bridgerton even though I'm holding this book. But yeah, I love Bridgerton. I can't wait for part 2 of season 4, and then I will definitely read the Benedict book story. Okay, then this is the exciting part. So this is a local bookshop in Westbourne in Bournemouth. So I live in Dorset. I grew up in Bournemouth and I now live a bit more in the countryside, but I still drive to Bournemouth every single day for work in Westbourne. And so there is an independent bookshop that opened up last year, and I'd been in a couple of times, but when it first opened it was always super busy, which is great. But you know when you just want to have a little wander, and it's not a big shop, like it is just one little kind of space, like one big room, I guess, not one little room, one big kind of room, but just floor to ceiling bookcases. Like it is gorgeous, so beautiful. And I believe they have an online store as well, and they do like loads of special editions, special covers, sprayed edges, signed books, like loads. They also do like is it like hidden, like the books where it's like wrapped and you just get like a couple of clues. I've never bought one of those because I've always been worried that I'm going to be buying a book I already own, or that I've read, and that makes me nervous. Like I don't want to buy a book I already have. So I've always been a little bit put off by that, but then at the same time I feel like there are so many books out there and I have not read hardly any in comparison. So maybe one day I'll be brave. But the first one I picked up, so I kind of went in there with, okay, I bought a load of romances online, I've tried the thriller, so I feel like I need to try something different. So I picked up a literary fiction. I didn't know anything about it. I had no signal inside the shop, so I couldn't even Google it. It was one of those things where I'm like, is this gonna be on Kindle Unlimited? And I'm gonna be really annoyed that I've just spent however much money. But supporting local bookshops and all that, independent local bookshops. So it's called The Reading List. And I liked the cover, I liked the colours, I just feel like it just was a bit different. So, and I do like a literary fiction. It doesn't have to be a romance. I don't ever read fantasy, ever really, sorry. I am definitely a romance kind of girl, and a bit of thriller, a bit of, I'm opening my reading journal to like look, but yeah, cozy mysteries, romances, thrillers, that's kind of it. And then like at the bottom here on my Kindle I've got like some literary fiction, and I think last year I read like 2 of them. But yeah, so I do like a literary, I always, whenever I pick up a literary fiction, I always enjoy it. It's just not like my go-to first choice. So when Mukesh Patel pops to the local library, foregoing his routine of grocery shopping and David Attenborough documentaries, he has no idea his life's about to change. He meets Alicia, a reluctant librarian and the keeper of a curious reading list, just a scrappy piece of paper with the names of 9 books. It doesn't seem anything special, yet something tells her to keep it close. Story by story, Mukesh and Alicia work their way through the list, their worry slipping away with every encounter, with every word discovered, slipping away with every encounter and every world discovered in their unlikely book club of 2. A fresh chance at life, at friendship, wasn't on the cards for these lovely souls, but every story starts somewhere. So I just, yeah, and it does just say the most heartfelt read, what a joyful, uplifting read. And I felt like I needed that, and I like the idea. And there's a cat on the cover. There's a little Kit Kat. So I picked that one up, I thought that was cute. And then this was actually a recommendation from the bookshop owner. I believe she is Canadian. She definitely had an accent, and she's lovely. But she really recommended this one to get me out of a book slump, because she said, I'd never heard anything about this before, but I did actually realise it is a Reese's Book Club pick. And this is what she recommended. So I feel like she reads a lot of books. I trust her opinion. So Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall, the #1 word of mouth global bestseller. So I feel like that many people can't be wrong, you know? Let's read the blurb on this one. But she said it's really fast paced, like the first chapter you'll be in, and that's kind of what I felt like I needed. So this is actually potentially the next book I'll pick up after the Carly Fortune one. Everyone in the village said nothing good would come of Gabriel's return, and as Beth looks at the man she loves on trial for murder, oh god, she can't help thinking they were right. Beth was 17 when she first met Gabriel. Over that heady, intense summer, he made her think and feel and see differently. She thought it was the start of her great love story. When Gabriel left to become the person his mother expected him to be, she was broken. Hi! Guys. Okay. We had another interruption. I hadn't told my boyfriend that I was going to film a YouTube video, and he came back from the gym. I didn't realise it was this time already, so he's just got in the shower. And I'm going to finish where I was, so I can't remember where I was, but I was reading the blurb to this. Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall. But yeah, basically I bought it blind. I don't really know what it's about. Clearly there's a murder in it, so, or somebody accused of murder, so we'll see. But hopefully it'll grab my attention and I will be fully out of this reading slump when I have read some of these books. That is the plan. The most addictive love story of the year. That's what it says on the back. So yeah, that is my book haul. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hopefully will see you very soon.